Hi, my name is Amanda Beaton. I work for Siemens Digital Industries Factory Automation, and I manage a program called Siemens Cooperates with Education in the U.S. A typical work day, my days differ a lot. Yesterday I talked to a lot of college instructors, teachers, professors about how to use Siemens products. So I tend to answer a lot of questions from individual instructors about using our products in the classroom. I also work with a lot of Siemens people around the country for how to bring products into schools close to them. So it's generally a mix of working with teachers and other Siemens people and some of our partners. It changed a lot. I always wanted to do something with numbers. I thought that would be in banking when I was really little because I thought you could keep all the money if you worked in a bank, which is not true. But then I had a couple of really great math and science teachers in high school, and it really led me to engineering. So I always knew it was going to be something with finance or accounting or numbers, and that led me to some kind of engineering job. No, this is not at all. I was lucky enough to get into a really good school, into a really good program in engineering, and it led me to my first job and my first job in industry, and every job after that was different. I was lucky enough to meet lots of people at Siemens, so I did lots of different types of jobs, from manufacturing to marketing to project management, and it just really moved around the company doing lots of different functions. And this job is very unique at Siemens because it is so education focused, and it's quite a special job. So no, I didn't know this job existed and had no idea what I would actually be doing day to day. Very first job was a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard for 4 years, which was fun. And then I worked in offices all through college. I worked in an equipment distributor's office and started out answering the phones and typing up reports, because it was that long ago that you still typed up reports. I'm an excellent typist, by the way. I can type a lot of words per minute. And worked in a distributor's office, and then from there was able to get my very first engineering job, which was in a GE manufacturing facility. I liked to solve problems, so I knew whether it was math problems or math and science STEM related problems. I worked on computers when I was really, really little, and back in those days, in the 80s, not everybody had a home computer. So I had one friend who was wealthy enough to have a personal computer in her house. So I always wanted to go play with her and spend the night there because I could access her computer and play with it and play computer games and just do different things. And I started to play around with programming and computer science stuff when I was really little. So I liked technology even back in the 80s and liked problem solving. So I knew that was the type of role, type of job I wanted to go into. To enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. I was really anxious about taking challenging classes, going to engineering school in general, going to work in hard jobs and places I'd never been, where I didn't know anybody, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of days being very, very nervous. Nervous in school, nervous in jobs, really, really anxious and not enjoying it. And even after being an adult, and I was traveling on an airplane, and a man sitting beside me said, "Where are you going?" And I told him where, and he said, "Enjoy it." He said, "Enjoy this trip, enjoy your travel, enjoy your life." And he could tell that I was really anxious about going to this place to work in this manufacturing plant, and just had a lot of nerves at each step of the way because it was so difficult and it was so challenging. But I took the challenging opportunities, but I'm not sure I enjoyed it as much as I should have. So I would say I should stop and enjoy it a little more. I tell people when I talk to especially young people when they start at Siemens, or people that are in college when I go to colleges, really take the hard jobs, take jobs that nobody else will take. You'll always be thankful that you accepted the challenge, that you took hard jobs. and it gets you noticed, and it gets you more jobs and more advancement, and I think it builds self-confidence a lot when you take those hard jobs and make those steps, not necessarily the challenging steps that other people would take. So yeah, I took all the hard jobs and the hard path and went to work in the most challenging manufacturing plants that I could go work in. I was really nervous about it, and I don't know that I enjoyed each and every day, but yeah, it really led to a lot of fantastic opportunities because I did some jobs and some projects that other people wouldn't accept. My job now, like I said, it's very unique. It's a lot of fun because it's very special at Siemens, again, to work with teachers and colleges and schools and to see students and to see what they get to do in schools. So when I see a student who performs and does a project and learns a lot and is, excited about STEM concepts and engineering, and they can do so much now with the technology that's available to them. So just seeing that success and that spark ignited in students, it's pretty rewarding. So again, a really unique job at Siemens that I get to work with so many schools, but just to see the excitement around the technology is pretty cool. Well, I'd say especially since the pandemic, I actually started working out because it was pretty stressful. I have 2 children, so I was homeschooling at home with 2 kids in middle school, 2 girls, and that was challenging while still working full-time and being at home all the time. So I found that to not go crazy, I started taking walks, taking runs, and got a punching bag, started using the punching bag. And if you have to be at home all the time from a job that previously had you traveling all around the world, and you also get to homeschool 2 middle school girls, then you should do something physical to help your mental health. Oh goodness. When I started college, I came from a really, really small town in South Georgia. So I got to engineering school and didn't know anybody, was really overwhelmed with the academic workload, and didn't think I could make it, didn't think I could stay because I was in a community of people that had already taken advanced placement classes in calculus and those types of courses already and already passed them. And I hadn't even been exposed to those types of concepts. And it was pretty overwhelming and pretty humbling to come into that environment and be not prepared. So I wasn't used to that and I wasn't ready for it. And I spent a lot of weeks thinking that I couldn't make it and looking up other schools, other jobs, should I go into a completely different field or different program. And somebody told me if it was easy, then everybody would do it. And it just stuck with me. I was 18 when she told me that. And I said, okay. And she said, not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to stay here. Not everybody can do this, but that's why it's hard. And, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So, yeah, that was a long time ago, but it really stuck with me. Oh, goodness. I'd say because as a mother, as a working mother that's always worked, multitasking, pretty good at. You really learn how to balance work and family life and a full-time working job and full-time kids and full-time life. So yeah, multitasking is a big thing. Managing stress, like I said, I learned to balance stress and overcoming challenging situations by going out for walks and runs or punching a bag or stuff like that. So yeah, managing a lot of tasks, a lot of stress, and has really helped a lot to have a more positive outlook on things. Oh gosh, technology has changed immensely since I started college, started work. Of course, and especially at a technology company like Siemens, right? It's purely based on technology. So we're an engineering company. We're full of engineers, and as technology changes, it changes the way we work and the way we communicate. Certainly, working from home during a pandemic changed. All that technology changed the way we did everything. So yeah, we're incorporating tools like artificial intelligence and cloud computing and lots of data science principles and things into our day-to-day jobs and how we make decisions and how we work and communicate. So that's certainly changed, and it's crazy the way we're incorporating advanced tools, again, like artificial intelligence, and into the way we communicate, the way we write our LinkedIn posts, and write emails and things. We can use lots of advanced technology to do those things. So yeah, it's crazy. And that's a cool thing about seeing what I see at universities and students is they understand technology so much better. That's so much more native to them. So where I'm, punching away at an iPhone or computer, students today were born with an iPhone. So they understand things and are a lot quicker to adapt and quicker to accept technology than people my age are. So it's cool to see the way they adopt and can really use technology and understand it so much more innately than we can. Oh goodness. So I use LinkedIn a lot for work because Siemens is a huge company. So I love LinkedIn. It's, maybe it's a very corporate middle-aged person social media platform, right? But it's Siemens is so big and we're so spread out around the world. So it's crazy to me that the things that I post about where I am and what I'm doing or what project, or if I promote something that a school did that's really cool with Siemens technology, there are people around the world that read that and comment on it and then contact me and say, oh my gosh, we didn't know you were working with this school. We're also working with a similar school in Europe. And so that connection globally is really because of LinkedIn and that platform. Privately, I use Facebook because I have parents who read my Facebook posts and see pictures of my family. So I also use Facebook quite a bit, just purely to post pictures and embarrass my children. A lot of my time now, I have middle school and high school girls, so I spend a lot of time helping them with their homework, which is just where a lot of my time goes. They're in some tough classes, so we're spend a lot of time. I enjoy it, so a lot of time helping with homework, and then a lot of time watching their sports. So because of kids, so I get to watch them play sports a whole bunch. And yeah, when I'm not doing that, I walk my dog a lot and spend a lot of time doing that. But yeah, not a ton of free time anymore. I'd say coming from such a small town where I didn't know anyone who was going to the college that I was going to study the engineering program I was going into, and that was all pretty overwhelming, and each step of it was really hard for me, and hard for my family. And even going, once I graduated from engineering school, to go work for a big global company like Siemens and go travel internationally for the first time, sometimes by myself, it seemed pretty crazy coming from a small place like Camilla. So yeah, I'd say accept it, enjoy it. You can do it. It's really cool and rewarding, and it opens a lot of doors, and you get to experience so many things around the world if you just sort of take that challenging step and do the job or do the program that seems hard and crazy, but it's really rewarding. So yeah, I'd say do the hard things and you won't regret it. All right, so like I said, I went to Georgia Tech. I got there and it was really hard. It was very challenging, and I actually selected, my first major was electrical and computer engineering, and it was a really quickly changing field. Technology was advancing really rapidly, so that's why I picked Georgia Tech, why I picked electrical and computer engineering. And my freshman year was overwhelming, so I went to meet with an advisor and tried to talk to a lot of people in the electrical and computer engineering field in the world, and it did not go well. And they did not have great advice for me and weren't really that inspiring at the time. It was just maybe a bad day for some of the professors that I met with. So I walked over kind of randomly to the industrial and systems engineering building down the street, And I liked the idea of a broader engineering major that covered more topics and wasn't so focused on the electrical and computer topics that were in the electrical and computer program. So I found myself in the industrial and systems engineering building as a freshman and changed my major that day. So I graduated with a degree in industrial and systems engineering from Georgia Tech. And it was kind of a random decision because electrical and computer it just wasn't that friendly of an environment that it didn't draw me in that day. So later I found out that the Industrial and Systems Engineering School at Georgia Tech is #1 in the world, and they have all these cool opportunities. So it was a good choice. But it really is just a broader engineering major and has some concepts of management and statistics and probability, even some manufacturing and warehousing and like logistics, supply chain classes that were attractive. So my major was kind of a random choice as I walked through campus that day because I didn't have a good experience in the electrical building that day. So that was how I chose my major. And I brought with me today from my everyday life now at Siemens. So Siemens manufactures a lot of electrical components, so a lot of things to do with manufacturing. So if you think of manufacturing plants and they're making things and they're producing things, which is why I went into manufacturing. I had an internship at a plant that manufactured ovens, and it was a cool internship because when you manufacture ovens, you have to test the ovens. And when you test the ovens, you bake cookies and cakes and brownies to test for oven evenness. And so if you work in a manufacturing plant that makes microwaves or ovens, there are lots of snacks on a day-to-day basis. And some are a little burned and some are a little unevenly cooked. But it's a cool plant if you have the opportunity because there's lots of snacks. But from there, I went to work in plants that manufacture electrical components, things like circuit breakers and switchboards that go in your house to provide power to your house and kind of work with the utility companies. This particular little controller is called a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller. It's really just a little computer. It takes in inputs from a manufacturing plant, say an assembly line, things that are moving down the line, and it makes decisions in the central processing unit, just like a computer would, and then it has a place for outputs. So it tells the assembly line what to do, if it should stop, move faster, go to the right, go to the left. So inputs, decision, and outputs. So this is one of the Siemens products that we manufacture, and these are exactly one of the products that you would see in a high school programming or manufacturing related class, and then lots of community and technical colleges would have controllers just like this and have software on their computers that program these controllers. So that's what I do with a lot of community college instructors, university professors, is helping them understand the technology from software to hardware of how things work in a manufacturing plant. So, and it's really cool to see it working live because then you get to go to lots of manufacturing plants where they make tennis shoes or computers or airplanes and see the way the technology works in that plant environment to make real things and produce real products.